Welcome, gun runner.
Hello everybody, it's Kieran aka The Laird here, and this week for my midweek video I have a look back at some more magazines for you. Now this is something I've done in the past that proved quite popular. I originally did, the first one I did was Game Zone magazine, and I actually looked at every single issue of Game Zone magazine from start to finish, which was pretty cool, and people seem to quite like that. Then I did ST Action magazine, Retrospective, quite recently, where I looked for a stack of different issues. It was by no means complete, but there were quite a lot there. I think it was in 4 or 5 parts. So yeah, I had that. So that was pretty good as well, and everyone seemed to like it and seemed to generate a lot of nostalgia and stuff like that. And I had lots of requests actually from people asking if I could do more magazine reviews, and I did have the full intention of buying some more magazines. It wasn't something I got round to doing. I haven't really looked around that much, but I just happened to be at the Retro Computer Museum in Leicester a few weeks ago, as some people will already know if you watch my channel, because I've already featured some stuff that I filmed there on here. And on the day, they were getting rid of tons of their duplicate magazines, so they were just asking for a donation. And it was something I really couldn't turn down. They had absolutely stacks and stacks and stacks of them, so I had to choose very carefully which magazines I was going to buy. One of the first that caught my eye was Sinclair User magazine. Now, many people regard Sinclair User magazine as the kind of worst of the 3 big Spectrum magazines. So there was Your Sinclair, there was Crash, and there was Sinclair User. Some people seem to think Crash is the best. Some people seem to think Your Sinclair was the best. I'm of the latter opinion. I loved Your Sinclair. I loved the humour, which you just didn't get in Crash. But I think maybe Sinclair User gets a bit of a rough ride. I remember liking it when I was younger, and I pretty much bought every issue. And in fact, this goes into why I was particularly drawn to this pile of Sinclair Users. Now, I've only got 3 here. There was actually more than that, but there were a few others didn't have covers, and I really didn't want magazines without covers. That was a real shame. That they were missing the covers, but one in particular caught my eye, which is the middle one here. So perhaps we'll have a look at this one first, because this is issue number 81, and it is December 1988. Now, that might not seem significant to you, but it is to me, because December 1988, Christmas obviously, was when I got my Spectrum Plus 2A, and I'd had a 48K one that's model that someone had given me for a little while before that, but it had a lot of issues and didn't really work properly. Keyboard membrane had gone, tried replacing that, still had issues. So really, I didn't really get going on the Spectrum until I got my own. I shared it with my brother and sister, Plus 2A for Christmas 1988, and I'd been playing on my friend's Spectrums for a long time before that, and finally my parents agreed that I could have a computer too, and there we go. Only if I shared it with my brother and sister. So, but it was in my room, so that it did work out fairly well, because I was the one who's going to get the most use out of it. But going back to this magazine, of course, being at Christmas, this was you probably already guessed it. This was the very, 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 very first Spectrum magazine I ever bought. And if you'd have asked me what the first Spectrum magazine I ever bought was, I would never have remembered. I wouldn't have had a clue. I would have had to have gone looking through archives, trying to find it. And little bit known to me, it was right there in front of me. It was Sinclair User. Since I saw the cover, actually, my younger brother said to me, "That one looks familiar." And I looked at him and went, "It does look familiar, doesn't it?" And then I saw the cover tape where it said 3 games, James Jones' amazing Magic Knight trilogy. And I was like, oh my God. And the special bonus to Chewett's game. And then I saw the Technocop demo, and I knew because that demo persuaded me to actually buy the full Technocop game. So yeah, this was my first ever Spectrum mag. So looking at this will be pretty amazing. I loved the Magic Knight trilogy on that tape so much. And throughout my years of the Spectrum, it's probably one of the things I played the most, to be honest, over all those years. Now, it's quite awkward to film like this, so as usual, I'm hoping you're going to be able to see it properly, because I still have to reach over in front of the camera, and my arms are only so long, so trying to get the correct distance for my arms and the camera is pretty difficult. So, unfortunately, the cover has come off this one, but we'll do our best. Starts off with a nice Operation Wolf advert. So contents, what we got, lots of different stuff. Batman, obviously, and Magic Knight, and looks like Carrier Command preview down there. So a great Gremlin advert. I remember this one well. Looking at that, I had Technocop and I had Artura. Liked both of them. Another great Gremlin advert, this time for all sports games. But I didn't have any of those, I don't think. So there we go. The letters page, always with the Kamikaze Bear. Everyone remembers that. Robocop, one of the first Spectrum games I ever bought. Even though my friend had it and I could have pirated off him, I still bought it because I loved the game so much. I thought it was so good, I had to have my own copy. Double Dragon, which wasn't so good. Review of Barbarian there. Review of Guerrilla War. Or Guerrilla Wars, as they decided to call it at the top. I didn't like that much. It's not the greatest. Has to be said. Maybe a little bit harsh. Love the advert there, obviously, because that's what I ended up getting. Spectrum Plus 2 with that exact pack. You can see there was a Plus 2A, but it was that exact pack with those games. So that's cool. That's interesting. It says that this was the first issue with their new ratings. See, I always remember this ratings box. But in the early years of Sinclair User, I seem to remember from looking back at issues that they were reviewed out of 10 instead of out of 100. So it's funny that the first issue I got was actually where they changed their rating system, which I became pretty familiar with. Airborne Ranger, Total Eclipse. Total Eclipse. Got it from Home Computer Club. Savage, which was superb on the Spectrum, and that advert is just so classic. I remember that so well. The charts. Let's look what was top of the charts then. Full price, top of the full price chart. Daley Thompson's Olympic Challenge, Football Manager 2, Tracksuit Manager. Not mad. Top 3 were all sports games, and then Road Blasters, and then Peter Beardsley's another sports game, and then Outrun. So US Gold were doing well that month as well with a couple there, and then Target Renegade. Good to see Overlander at 8 though. That's a really underrated game. Bloody Street Fighter at 10. Why were people buying that? Terrible game. And then we've got a separate budget chart, which has got Bomb Jack at the top of it. Gauntlet at number 3 there. And I probably helped a bit with that because Gauntlet was pretty much one of the very, very first games I bought for my Spectrum. So that's pretty cool. And School Days there at number 7 as well. Another early purchase by me. I thought Frog Racing, Lancelot, some kind of text adventure. Don't remember that at all. By Fair Means or Foul, I seem to remember that being quite crap. They gave it 68. Great Return of the Jedi advert there. Trivial Pursuit. Motorbike Madness. I don't remember that game at all. I don't think I've ever played it, but it actually looks quite cool. Competition. Win a year's supply of Chewits. Oh, that's right. The Muncher demo thing was actually not the Muncher game that they released. It was like a Pac-Man clone. I forgot that completely till I just looked at that. Pac-Mania. Brilliant, brilliant game. Good conversion on the Spectrum as well. Well, we've got Rex, 88. Good game, that. Advanced Pinball Simulator. See, that gets my goat there. Go Advanced Pinball Simulator, 42%. Brilliant pinball game. One of the best pinball games on the Spectrum. They go Jet Set Willy 2 on budget, 65%. One of the, again, that was probably one of my, well, not my earliest Spectrum purchase. My brother bought it, my younger brother, because he loved the game. And it seems funny giving you know, an iconic game like that 65%. Okay, it's a bit old by that point, but didn't stop it being a good game. And Paul's, which they gave 12%, so they loved that, clearly. Typhoon, Ocean Arcade conversion, or Imagine, as they were using that label. 72, yeah, it's all right, nothing amazing. Power Pyramids, don't remember that at all. They didn't like it. Cool poster for Artura. What's wrong with this cover? I might have to just take it off for a moment, just to make it easier for me to turn the pages. What else? We had the review. There's an advert for Guerrilla War. Oh, I said about Pac-Mania. And there we go. They gave it 79. I think it's deserving of a much higher score than that. Brilliant Pac-Man game. Artura, they gave 59. I quite liked Artura. I'd go a bit higher than that. I picked it up much later than that. I got it quite cheap from what I remember. In my opinion, the best compilation ever released for the Spectrum. I got it from the Home Computer Club. Taito coin-up hits. Such amazing value for money. I mean, look at the games on there. Rastan, Flying Shark, Arkanoid, Slap Fight, Bubble Bobble, Arkanoid 2, Renegade and Legend of Cage. Only Legend of Cage was a bit crap. All the rest were excellent. Absolutely brilliant compilation. Power Play. See, I didn't know it was on Spectrum. Got 84, but I had that on the ST. Got it on a cover disc, I think, and it was really good. R-Type. Possibly the most impressive arcade conversion on the Spectrum. Bloody great it is. They gave it 90, so they obviously agree. It is bloody good. I remember that t-shirt. So funny. Advertising Spectrum remix of Sanction. People asking for help with stuff. Espionage, never heard of it. By Grand Slam. It's a board game. It was a board game apparently. Okay. Classic advert of Data Electronics. What we've got in the previews, so we've got Eliminator, War Middle Earth, Return of the Jedi, Xenon, which is a bloody good conversion to the Spectrum that was from the ST. Starfast, Hundra, neither of those ring a bell at all. And then we've got a review of Batman from the cover, so they saved that right to the end. 90%, probably about right. That was a really good game, Batman the Cape Crusader. I actually preferred Batman the movie that came after that, but it was still a good game. Netherworld by Houston, they gave it 69. And then all the ads at the back. There we go. I'll put that cover back on. And the back actually has got another great compilation, because it's funny, because my best friend Neil bought the In Crowd and I bought Taito coin-up hits, and then I copied the In Crowd off him and he copied Taito coin-up hits off me. And to be fair, that's bloody good as well. I mean, look, Karnov, which is good. Combat Skull, wasn't keen on Combat Skull. Gryzor was good. Barbarian, it was alright. Platoon, that was alright. Crazy Cars I really liked. Target Renegade I loved, and Predator I liked as well. I played Predator more on the ST. It was one of the games I got with my ST. So there we go. My first ever Spectrum magazine there. I don't remember much of the contents, it has to be said. It's mainly that cover tape that I remember. So what's the next issue we've got here then? January 1989, issue number 82. So, cool. Reviewed Robocop. That's good then. New PC200 games rated. That's quite interesting. The calamity that the PC200 was. Amstrad's so-called follow-up to the Spectrum. Great Thunderblade advert showing the game with pants. The arcade game was brilliant, but the Spectrum version is bloody awful. But then again, it never should have even been attempted on the Spectrum. Megatape 11, what do we have on this then? Beachhead 1, Beachhead 2. See, I remember that tape as well. I mean, yeah, I definitely would have bought this issue right after the other one, isn't it? If that's December 1988. Yes, this is the following issue. Oh, that's cool. I didn't actually realise this is the following issue. I hadn't even noticed that. I remember liking Beachhead and Beachhead 2. R-Type. Robocop. So there we go. I probably would have bought it just after this then. Around that time. 94%. Very deserving. Probably one of the best games on the Spectrum, easily top 5 for me. My favourite Spectrum games, Back to School. But Robocop might be second. It's certainly right up there. Letters, Win a Skateboard, Game Set and Match. Hellfire Attack. That was another game I owned, actually. I think I got it from Home Computer Club in one of their sales. I gave it 60. It was all right. Afterburner clone, nothing special, so probably bang on there. Sega TV Arcade Action, advertising the Mars system. Lovely. What a classic advert that is. Technocop, played the demo and then they got the review there. They gave it 82. I was a fan of that on the Spectrum. I really liked Technocop. Their free game offers. Their Thunderblade review, they gave it 87. God knows why, because it's awful. They said Fabo conversion of a good coin op. It falls a little bit on playability. It fails completely on playability. And the graphics, because they're all in monochrome, you can't tell what the hell is going on about 90% of the time. Return of the Jedi, they gave 60. Probably bang on. I was never a massive fan of Return of the Jedi. Certainly not as good as the Vector games. The original Star Wars was probably the best one in my opinion. It was just sit down Star Wars arcade machine, brilliant. Total Eclipse 88. That was a game I actually got from Home Computer Club because it got rave reviews, and I found it a little bit boring. So there we go. It was impressive, certainly, but it just wasn't my kind of game. I was more into arcade style games, but my dad kind of talked me into buying it, and yeah. So PC200 software roundup. So basically just a lot of old PC games then that actually happen to be compatible with the PC200. And there's a lot of Mastertronic stuff here, so I'm guessing that Mastertronic sent them games. Yeah, it even says there, Mastertronic, they've plugged them in the intro. So yeah, so definitely this is obviously Mastertronic got them to do this. So in there we've got Ninja, Classic there, Feud, Rogue, yeah, Storm, that's another one I remember, Rockford I remember, Sidewinder I remember. So yeah, there's loads of stuff in there. Charts, so what's top of the charts then? Last Ninja 2 knocked Daley Thompson off the top spot. Supreme Challenge came in there. Typhoon came in there at number 6. A lot of it's not much different to the last issue though. 1943 came in at number 12. Oh, Taito Coin up 17, right down to 17. Should be higher than that. So great value for money it was. And Joe Blade 2 went straight in at number 1 in the budget 10. I bought Joe Blade 2, so there we go. I bought Joe Blade 1 and 2. Double Dragon review 51. Probably a bit kind because it's so bloody bad. That's probably a bit kind, to be honest. It's a really terrible conversion. And Fist Plus, the one of Exploding Fist follow-up. So yeah, 3-player martial arts sim fails to live up to its promise. 60. Yeah, it was nowhere near as good as the original. I agree with that. An Afterburner calendar, awesome. Do you remember putting that Afterburner calendar on my wall? So there we go. What we got? Twilight Zones. This is usually budget releases. 10 Great Games, the Gremlin compilation. How to Be a Complete Bastard, which was just amazing. Got it on a Your Sinclair cover tape. I can't believe they've given it 59. I loved that game. Crackout on Kicks 93. Crackout's a brilliant game. Battle Tank Simulator. Don't know that. History in the Making. Was it all right compilation? Kung Fu Master was crap though. Okay. Computer Maniac's Diary. Don't remember what that was, but they didn't like it very much. Nice adverts. Rambo 3, 64. I've actually never played that on the Spectrum. I don't know why. I probably should play it. Final Assault by Epix. I didn't like that very much. 41. Other stuff like music and all that jazz. Code Talk. All about letters and stuff. Return of the Jedi contest. Starfast, there we go. It's a preview the issue before, and I gave it 88. I seem to remember having that actually, and it being rather good. Quite like the colourful graphics, a bit like Light Force. So yes, good work. Lead Storm's preview. Most notable for its wonderful music by Tim Follin. The first game I really recognised how great Tim Follin was, I think. That or Bubble Bobble. And funny that this weekend I'm going to be at Play Expo in Blackpool, and Tim Follin is going to be there doing one of the talks, which is incredible because that's a first. No, he's never done anything like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Roy of the Rovers. Coin Ops, awesome. Look at this. Cock-up of the year, Continental Circus. Should have been called Continental Circuits. Yes, we all know that story. Dynamite Ducks. Ocean Wolf. Galaxy Force there. Cool. Dragon Ninja got best beat 'em up. Best racing game, Power Drift. Can't argue with a lot of those choices there. Previews. Treasure Island Dizzy. Skateball. Tiger Road. I quite like Tiger Road. Blastoise. That was bloody good. The Deep. Sanction. Some budget games. Thunderbirds. Last Duel, which was basically a follow-up to Lead Storm. So there's Dragon Ninja, the Spectrum port. I quite like that. That was pretty good. I bought that. But that's a full preview, so not a review. For Christmas turkeys, going by CMVG. I quite often did because CMVG was amazing. The 16-bit Sega unveiled. Woo! It shows at the time actually the fact they called it the 16-bit Sega because at the time the Master System people generally just called the Sega. They didn't call it the Master System because I remember just calling it the Sega, and you called the Nintendo just the Nintendo, so it was the Nintendo and the Sega. And it kind of changed once the Mega Drive came in and we had to start calling it the Master System. Well, the Mon's brilliant conversion, and I love the fact it advertises the Amiga and ST versions there, which never came out. And a lovely advert for Batman on the back. So we've got one left to do. I think this is a much older issue. March 88. So yes, this is the oldest issue of the lot. Obviously that's Arnie Predator on the cover there, which is pretty cool. And on the tape there we had Sarjas and some pokes and a playable demo of 19. And there's an advert for Sega console, like we were just talking about it. Even that doesn't really say Master System in big letters anyway. It just says Sega. So it shows that was very much the advertising was just calling it Sega all the time. So yeah, it's proves my point I just made actually, doesn't it really? This time the detail thing is at the front. It says Zarjas 19 demo. Platoon 8 out of 10. It was quite good, Platoon. It kind of set the scene though, Platoon. It set the format for all kind of future Ocean movie licenses where they had like different levels based on different bits of the film. So it's almost like a bunch of mini games. And they kind of used that again and again and again after that with RoboCop and Batman and Total Recall and all sorts. Hunt for Red October. I remember that being quite good. I give it an 8, so it's probably right. I like that Rolling Thunder advert, very cool. That was a decent game, bit hard though, in my opinion. Letters, more adverts, Renegade and Rastan. So what was in the chart then? Top was Outrun, and we do know it sold very well on the Spectrum. Match Day 2, Combat School, Gary Lineker, and then a load of compilations after that in a row. Tons of compilations there. And at the top of the budget chart, there was Grand Prix Simulator, ATV Simulator, Fruit Machine Simulator, Pro Ski Simulator, Dizzy. So the whole top 5 were Codemasters games. And then we have another Codemasters game at number 8. Blimey. More reviews. International Karate Plus, which they only gave us 7. It's quite surprising. Bedlam, Galactic Games, 3D Starfighter, STI. That's a rather good name, isn't it? Blimey, STI. Way of Explaining Fists, which they obviously gave a 9. Just realised that wasn't on camera. Castle Computers. I used to order so much from them. They were like my go-to mail order shop because they always had really good deals on stuff. They're always doing special deals on all sorts of things. So yeah, like to clear their section down the bottom, they always had really good stuff. So I'd always buy all the cheap stuff from them because they always have really good sales. Deviants. I'll get my dad to write out a check and send it off. They gave Predator a 10. Blimey, they really liked it. Yeah, blimey. I wouldn't say it's as good as a 10. It's certainly a good game, but maybe not a 10. Budget, well, we've got Space Shuttle, Merlin, Chaos. Road Wars. See, how the flip did they give that a 10? Conversion of obscure coin op, Amiga based coin op. And it's quite generic. I don't know how that in. It just can't fathom how that is ever a 10. How bizarre. Captain America 7. That game's not very good. I wouldn't give it as high as 7. That's for sure. Tetris. Great stuff. Spectrum version was really good of Tetris. Really, really, really good. Terramix competition. Pilot your own hovercraft. Awesome. Shackled. I seem to have been a bit of a Gauntlet rip-off. Got an 8. It was alright. Piggy by Bug Bite. They haven't even got a screenshot of it and they gave it a 1. Strange it didn't bother with the screenshot. Alien 8. Tank Busters. Dan Dare 2. It was a good follow-up. They gave it 7. I'll probably make it a little bit liked it a little bit more than that. LA SWAT, which they absolutely hated and gave a 2 out of 10. I quite liked LA SWAT. I've got a soft spot for it. I bought that and I quite liked it. I do seem to be in the minority on that though. Most people seem to hate it. I think it's awful. Kickstart 2, now we're talking 8 out of 10. Probably one of the best budget games ever released. What's in the arcades then? Thunderblade. Awesome. Sit down Thunderblade. Very good. Coding and letters and problems and tech support. Magnetron by Steve Turner. 10 out of 10. High praise indeed. They'd certainly like that. Super Stuntman by Codemasters. I bought that. That was really good. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I absolutely loved that game. In fact, it was yeah, it was excellent budget game. Roger Mansell's Grand Prix, 7 out of 10. Previews: Arkanoid 2, Karnov, Championship Sprint, Cybernoid, all sorts, Day of the Life, ATF. Oh, ATF's a review, 10 out of 10 again. God, they gave lots of 10 out of 10s, didn't they, in this issue? Oh, God, I wouldn't say that's a 10 out of 10 either. They're certainly feeling very, very generous in the issue. 3 10 out of 10s in one issue. Crazy. And lots of adverts, and that's pretty much it. An advert for Gunsmoke, port of the Capcom arcade game, and Platoon there on the back. So that's it. So that's my look at these 3 Sinclair User magazines, including my first ever magazine that I bought. I've got more coming. I'll let you wait and see what, rather than ruin the surprise. I've been the Retro Laird. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you all again for another video very soon. Thank you. Bye bye.